Alright, so we are 1 week and 1 day away from the first game of the Premier League season. I think the first game of the season is Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Yeah, it's Liverpool versus Bournemouth, and I mean, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long summer. Let's be honest. We had the Club World Cup to keep us entertained for a little bit, but that month since then, I've been waiting for transfers, just any kind of news for football, and finally the Premier League season is back. I still got a lot to do. I need to make my FPL team, to be honest. I got to do predictions for the Premier League, which will be coming out soon. Stay tuned. Now that the season is about to start, I kind of just want to go through some of the bigger transfers that happened in the Premier League this summer. I'm not gonna go through every single one. That's ridiculous, bro. Like some third string goalkeeper. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm aware that the transfer window is open past the starting day of the Premier League. I think it's open till September 1st. So there probably will be some deadline day transfers or some transfers that are past August 15th, which is the first game of the season. But for now, I think this is a majority of the transfers that are going to happen. We've had a lot of this summer. Clubs have had a lot of time to spend money, so we're just going to get straight into it. Before we get into it, though, I feel like you know what I'm about to ask. Please hit that like button and subscribe as well, because it'll just help share my video with the football community around us. So just spread that positivity. All right, now we can get into it. So this is the tier list that I modified. I mean, I didn't make it myself. Here is the ranking system on the left hand side. We got 5 categories. The top being game changing transfers. Like, these are the transfers I'm going to be, everybody should be looking at the most. We got solid as well. I mean, that kind of explains itself. We got decent. We got kind of why. Like, why did this transfer happen? And then we got bro at the bottom. Like, but these transfers, I feel like I'm doing it off of multiple things, like fit for the team, the amount spent on it, just multiple things in general. Also, this is my opinion, so maybe some things I say is gonna upset you or offend you, but this is my ranking of where I see these signings. Basically, I think a lot of this is gonna be in alphabetical order. You can see all the players I have here. Like I said, there's a lot more that got signed in the Premier League, but these are the ones we're going to be going for. Starting with Martin Zubimendi, around 70 million euros. He was part of this big kind of midfield rebuild that we're doing at Arsenal. If you guys don't know, I'm an Arsenal fan. Obviously, Thomas Partey leaving the club, as well as Jorginho, left a big hole in that sixth defensive midfielder area. And I think Zubimendi is going to cover this place on the pitch, and I think he's going to do it probably better than Thomas Partey and Jorginho. I think he has a lot of good qualities that Jorginho had, and if you saw that run at the end of the 23-24 season, we used Jorginho a lot, and those forward passing abilities that he had to cut through lines. We've seen it a little bit in the preseason so far, and that is something that Thomas Partey wasn't able to do as much. And as well as that, Zubimendi is a ball winner. I've looked at his La Liga stats. He's pretty good at recovering the ball in the midfield. So I'm gonna say this is a game changer off the bat. And this is not biased. I promise you. Not all Arsenal players are gonna be a game changer, because that doesn't make sense. All right, next up we got. I think a lot of you guys can see who we got next up. We got the big man Victor Gyökeres. I mean, this has been the talk all summer. The transfer everyone's been talking about. So many big expectations on him. It does make sense to put him in game changer, to be honest. And I feel like I might, but at the same time, I don't put him in solid, because I've been saying for the longest time what we need is a left winger who can bring that X factor. Um, since the start of the summer, since the start of last season, to be honest. I didn't think striker was our biggest problem, but also I did want a striker to come in. And Victor Gyökeres being the top scorer in all of Europe, I mean, it feels like it has to be a game changer, but I'm just going to go against it and say it's solid, because, I mean, at the same time, a lot of people are talking about Portuguese league, this stuff, that stuff. There's so many, there's such a drastic difference in what people think. Some people think he's gonna bang 50 goals in. A lot of people think he's gonna flop. So I'm not gonna say it's a game changer. I'm gonna say it's solid, because I believe in him personally. I think he'll score goals no matter what in this team. So I'm just gonna say solid. He's gonna be a very, very solid addition to the team. I think Havertz is gonna play a lot more than people maybe think, and I think he's gonna be just a different option in general for Arteta and Arsenal. It's not something we're used to seeing in terms of strikers. Just like a fast track bully that's just ready to run, uses physical abilities compared to Havertz and Jesus. But yeah, I think he'll be a solid part to the team. Next up, we got Noni Madueke, and so far with the way the summer is going, I have to put him in Y. I'm not gonna lie. I like the signing for rotation for backup to Saka. I think he's a great player. Um, he's exactly what we need, honestly. Just someone who takes on defenders relentlessly. Very good physical attributes. He's really fast, really big. He'll get past pretty much any defender in the Prem. But when you look at how much we spent on him and how like you can pay like a little bit more for Rodrigo. I mean, not a little bit more. It's like what 40 more mil for Rodrigo. Someone who's more of a priority in my opinion. Someone who naturally wants to play off the left, like Rodrigo. I feel like you gotta prioritize your money that way. But I'm not a sporting director or anything like Berta, so I can't say how these transfer deals go. What priorities work out first or anything like that. So I don't blame Madueke for coming in earlier than the others. And at the same time, I'm still holding out for Eze and Rodrigo, Eze or Rodrigo, just more attacking options. But if it's just like the way it is right now, I'm going to have to say why because I feel like there's other players that we should have prioritized or got over Noni. Don't get it twisted. I still think he's a great player. Next up, we got Christian Mosquera, and I'm going to put him in solid for the price. Only what 15 20 mil that we paid for him for he looks like a very solid center back from what I've seen, very secure on the ball, maybe a little bit raw in terms of like defending transitions from what I saw against Villarreal, but again, he's young. He's coming in as a rotation center back. He'll like if we want to flip him in the future, we will definitely get profit from him because he was only 15 or 20 mil. Just looking at that, I feel like that's a solid transfer. Next up, we got Christian Norgard, and I think that's just middle of the pack, decent. Very cheap again, like 10 mil. Not too much money spent on him, so gonna be a good squad option in general. Someone to break up play, someone to move the ball in tight spaces. So yeah, Christian Norgard, decent little signing. Kepa, I'm gonna also put at decent. I'm very neutral on this signing. I mean, it's good again for the price. Like these players, Mosquera, Norgard, Kepa, we spent not too much on, so I'm happy with the price tags on all these. It's just Christian Mosquera I think has a better quality than these two. So next up, we got what looks like Aston Villa's only signing, Marco Bizzo, and I think he's just gonna be a second string goalkeeper, backup. I'm just gonna put it in bro. I mean, he's probably a decent keeper, but he's 34 years old. Kind of just like what can Aston Villa really do in this market? I just want to put it in bro just to show kind of how bad of a situation Aston Villa has in terms of making transfers. I mean, I don't think he costed much, if anything. I didn't really look at much into this transfer, to be honest. I don't know if Emi Martinez is leaving at the start of the window. It sounded like he was probably planning on leaving, but to this day, he still hasn't left. So, yeah, I'm just going to put it in, bro. The next one we got is for Bournemouth. We got Petrovic. I think this is a great signing for them. They just lost Kepa to Arsenal, so they needed a new starting keeper, and they went to Ligue 1 and got one of the best performing keepers. He played for Strasbourg last season. A lot of French media was rating him a lot, so maybe he wasn't rated as highly at Chelsea, but this is an opportunity to get a second chance in the Prem, so I'm going to put a decent signing because maybe I don't rate him extremely highly because I don't watch him enough, but yeah, I think Petrovic he'll do a job at Bournemouth. Next up, we got Truffert, the new left back for AFC Bournemouth. I think this is a solid pickup from them. I'm gonna say it straight off the bat. I don't watch much of the French league, like I said earlier, but he looks like his profile matches Kirk's a lot in terms of going forward. Didn't overspend on him, in my opinion. Still young. I think he's around 23 or something like that. Uh, Good exports from the French league relatively, so I think it's going to be a solid pickup. Next up, we got Kelleher at Brentford, and I think this is a solid pickup as well. I mean, they got rid of Flecken to Leverkusen. Eric Ten Hag signed that man, and I think Kelleher is just an upgrade, plain and simple. Too good to be a Liverpool backup. He was the best backup in the league, so finally he's gonna get his chance to show his starting qualities for a team in the Prem. If Brentford is able to stay up this season, I think they are going to be a relegation candidate. We don't know much about their manager. If they are able to stay up, a lot of it is going to come down to Kelleher. So I think it's a solid pickup. Next up, we got Jordan Henderson. I'm going to throw him straight into decent. I don't think it's extremely solid for them to pick him up, but Brentford just lost their captain. They needed a captain figure. Henderson is going to help with that. I don't think Henderson's ever been in a relegation scrap or anything like that, so maybe he doesn't have experience with that, but he does have a good amount of leadership qualities. Back in England, we're gonna see him play in the Prem, so he's vetted. So I think it'll at least be a decent signing. Next up, we got Marcus Edwards, and I'm torn between putting him in Y and decent, mainly because I'm just I'm just gonna put him in Y for now, because I mean, I just looked at his numbers in the championship last season when he came to Burnley, sorry. And I think he only got around 2 goals, 2 assists. He did come in halfway through the season. Not too much output. Didn't have many standout performances. So it's kind of like a Y. He was doing pretty well at Sporting from what I saw. Whenever I see them in the Champions League, he was one of their creative players on the pitch, but maybe it's not translating to England. I feel like he's going to struggle, in my opinion, but maybe he could prove me wrong. He's also 26 now. I always saw Marcus Edwards as this youngster with potential, but he's getting a little bit older now. We should be seeing the peak of his powers, but I feel like they could have gone for maybe a more young, creative, less predictable player. Now we got Kyle Walker. I think this is I think it's a decent pickup. We've seen Kyle Walker at the top of his game. The level that he hit was greatest right back of all time in the Prem. And the way he's fallen off this past season, has actually been kind of sad. He was still relying on that recovery pace in the City team, and it was just not working. If you were watching those games, it was not working at all. To be honest, that's not going to translate to Burnley. Burnley is not going to sit in your half and camp there. So Walker can just stay back and do his job defensively. He's not going to have to rely on his recovery pace anymore. Obviously, Burnley's going to have attacking moments. Maybe he might get caught out, but I think he'll be a decent pickup for Burnley. I still feel like Burnley will finish bottom of the league, but Kyle Walker isn't going to change much, in my opinion. Next up, we got Joao Pedro, and I'm very torn between these two positions, game changer and solid. But I think I'm just gonna put him in solid. I don't think it's a complete game changer. We saw what he did at the Club World Cup. Absolutely insane what he was doing. That little partnership he had with Cole Palmer within a week of him landing and playing with that team was crazy. And it was scary to watch, to be honest, as an Arsenal fan. But I simply, there's too many attackers at Chelsea for me to tell who is going to be starting besides Cole Palmer. So I can't necessarily say that Joao Pedro is going to be a game changer, because I mean, I don't know if he's going to start over Delap. I don't know if maybe Nico Jackson stays, and I don't think Nico Jackson can stay, but maybe he stays and Nico Jackson starts over him. Who knows? Obviously, I feel like he's most likely to be the starter, especially after those performances, but I can't say game changer yet. Next up, we got Jamie Bino Gittins. I'm going to put it in. It's solid because of the profile that they wanted and they got him, but I want to say decent because of the price on top of that. He's still very young, but he did lead Europe in take-ons or progressive dribble, something like that. He led Europe, all of it. He was number one. He was beating Yamal, Nico Williams, these types of players. So it looks like a very good profile. You know what? But again, I don't know if he's going to be starting. There's so many forwards at Chelsea right now. So you can't tell if it's going to be solid or decent for them. Will he have a decent output in the league this season, or will he have a really solid output? It's unpredictable for me to say. So I'm gonna say decent. Next up, we got Jorel Hato. I'm gonna put it in solid. I think he's a great player. Leader of Ajax at what? He's 18 now. Insane. This guy is so young. He's so built, ready to play in the Prem, in my opinion. Can play multiple positions: left back, left center back, mainly in a back three, but he'll probably be able to work his way around playing left center back in a back four. We just saw Levi Colwill went down with an ACL injury. Hopefully he recovers quick. But it's a good thing they got him because he can probably cover that spot pretty well. So I think this will be a very solid pickup for them. I kind of wanted him at Arsenal as well, just as a different option for left back. But and you know Arteta loves his left backs. Come on. Next up, we got Liam Delap, and I think this is a solid pickup just as much as Joao Pedro. Like I said with Gyökeres, fast track bully. He's a very old style type of striker in the Prem. You don't see many players with his type of characteristics as striker. He did really good at Ipswich, a relegation team. He got like 11 goals, so I think he's worth 30 mil easily. So it's a solid pickup in my opinion. Next up, we got Estevao, someone that a lot of Chelsea fans have been waiting for. I mean, this is going to be exciting to see in the Prem. A very Brazilian flary type player. We saw at the Club World Cup, and I think he's a solid pickup. Still not sure if he's going to be a starter. He's really young as well, like 18 or something like that. They paid a lot of money for him as well, but he does have a very high ceiling, so I'm going to stick with solid. I'm kind of excited to see how he does in the Prem, but yeah, only time will tell. Next up, we got Benitez, the goalkeeper for Crystal Palace, and I think it's just a decent pickup. It's just a backup goalie. Not much to say, to be honest. Dean Henderson is going to stay that number one. But it's decent to have Benitez as your backup. This guy who started against Arsenal at PSV, I mean, he gave up 9 goals, but he still started 4 Champions League sides. So that's good to have as a backup, to be honest. And now we got Carlos Alcaraz as a striker for Everton. I'm going to put him in decent as well. I remember his time at Southampton when they went down in 2023. He looked like a pretty decent player whenever I watched him. So, as backup at Everton, I think he'll do well. He's not going to be a starter in my opinion, so it's a decent squad player to have. Next up, we got Tierno Berry for Everton, and I think this is a solid pickup for him. I've seen a lot of people rave about him. I haven't watched much of him at all, to be honest. But he looks physically ready for the Prem, which is something you need at Everton, especially with David Moyes back there. Again, comes from the French league. I like when these mid-table or lower table teams scout from outside of England, because I mean it just offers more variety. It's less known what that player is, to be honest, for the rest of the league. So seeing a player like Tierno Berry come to Everton gives them a lot of options. They got Beto as well, Alcaraz, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, Everton's looking pretty deep in the front line. We got another big boy up next. We got Florian Wirtz, and I just got to put that at game changer. I mean, this is a record. Is this a record spend for Liverpool? 120 mil, around that range. I'm expecting some good things from Florian Wirtz. If it's not numbers wise, I think he'll change games a lot. Still not completely sure how Liverpool is going to shape up next season, and I feel like it's going to have me asking a lot of questions, but I'm sure Arne Slot will figure it out. I feel like Wirtz is going to be playing off the left, if anything. If Arne Slot is still going to run a 4-4-3-3, he'll play in the midfield, but I have a feeling Liverpool might play at 3 at the back. I don't know why, but I have a feeling they will, especially with Frimpong coming in. And something okay, hear me out. I'm going to put him in Y, but because I'm very confused about what formation Liverpool will be playing next season. I feel like he only really suits a 5 at the back or a 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it, where he can play that right mid role and overlap Salah so many times without having too much defensive responsibility. Frimpong, I feel like if you saw Trent getting exposed in the Prem, I feel like Frimpong would probably get exposed as well. He's really fast. He'll have good amount of recovery pace, but genuinely defending 1v1, who knows? Maybe I'm underrating Frimpong, but I feel like the best you're gonna get from is his attacking abilities. So putting him in at five at the back would benefit him the most. So if it's a four at the back system, I feel like Konate on that right side would be needing to do a lot of work. And Konate this season was outstanding. This past season was outstanding. Him and Van Dijk. So maybe they can replicate it again. But I'm not sure. Something we could also see is Gravenberch drop back and they still do a three at the back, so they have a lot of cover back there. So maybe it would work for Frimpong. And it makes me kind of want to put it in decent because it was also a 30 million euro signing or something like that. So I'm gonna move Frimpong to decent. Y is a little bit harsh, but yeah, even decent's harsh for him. But I just have questions about that signing. Next up, we got Milos Kerkez. I think this is a very solid left back, Prem proven. If you needed someone to be like a pretty much exact Robertson replacement, you got Kerkez. He's pretty decent in the 1v1. Very good going forward. So yeah, not much to say. I think he's a solid signing. Next up, we got Hugo Ekitike, and I gotta go for solid, honestly. Such a high ceiling with this guy. We've seen what a player profile like him has done in the Prem. Isaac, I mean, he came in with not great numbers, and you've seen what Isaac has done these past couple seasons. I mean, in my opinion, best striker in the league. But maybe that's because he's my Habisha brother. Yeah, Ekitike, I could see it working out for him because he's not going to have so much pressure on him, in my opinion. I feel like Salah is there to take that pressure off a lot of these attacking guys like Verts, like Ekitike. He's that established guy in the attack, so Ekitike can just play his game. He can focus on getting contributions through assists or goals, and I think he's going to have an overall solid season. Next up, we got Tijani Reinders, and I'm actually going to put him in Y. Hear me out, but I just feel like one of the biggest problems with City has been they've been easy to get past in the press. Their press hasn't been strong enough like it usually is. Their press is usually insane, and they will take that ball off of you easily, but people have been able to get past City's midfield because there has been no Rodri, and because the other people in there haven't been maybe physical enough or aggressive enough in defending. And I don't think Tijani Reinders offers that for you, like, when he comes in. Maybe Pep coaches that into him, but Tijani Reinders is like 26 years old now. I'm not saying he'll be a horrible player, but I don't think he's going to, like, change things for that midfield drastically. I think Rodri coming back will change things a lot. If he can come back to the same form that he left in, that'll help a lot because he can cover a lot of ground. But Tijani Reinders defensively, I'm just worried. I think he'll do his thing offensively because in terms of midfielders, he's one of the best at getting goal contributions. But defensively, like, let's take a look at his stats. He is quite literally the worst tackler out of all midfielders. Like, he is bottom 1%. Look at this. For blocks, he's bottom 3%. Clearances, aerials, 1. He has decent interceptions, but that's very middle of the pack. Maybe he just doesn't work hard because it's an AC Milan team. Italian league, not many teams press in that league, so maybe that has a lot of things to factor into it. But maybe Pep can get the best out of him. But I'm just gonna put it on Y for now because I just have questions about it. We got Aït-Nouri up next, and I'm gonna put him in solid. I think this is a great signing for them. Finally, a left back for Man City. They have not signed a natural left back since Benjamin Mendy, I'm pretty sure. I want to see someone flying up that left side for Man City. It'll allow Marmoush to tuck in a little bit more. He's not going to have to hug the side because I feel like Marmoush will get minutes on that left side as well. Doku will probably also have an overlapped runner, so he'll have some space to run into or a defender to take on 1v1, which is scary. Aït-Nouri will get goal contributions. He likes to get up the pitch. It offers something different as well, and it lets Gvardiol play center back more. So, and I think that's his best position. So I think this is a solid signing. It's gonna offer a lot of different weapons for Man City. Next up, we got Ryan Cherky. I have to put him in solid just because of the price alone. This guy is so talented. If Pep can get him to defend as well, I think it'll be scary. Um, but that's a big if as well. I'm not hearing the people saying that he's gonna turn out better than Verts. I feel like Verts has done a lot. You have to give him credit for what he's done. Cherky, he does have more raw ability and talent than a lot, and like I mean a lot of players in the world. Can he change games? He can, but can he do it consistently as well? Hopefully. That's why I've put him at solid, because he has such a high potential. Next up, we got James Trafford, and I think this is a solid signing as well. Ederson has been caught. Ederson, man, I feel like it's been done for him for a while now. He's been constantly linked with leaving Man City for I don't know how many seasons now. And finally, it looks like he probably will start getting phased out of the team. I don't think Trafford is going to start immediately, but he does have that number 1 shirt, so he's going to be playing a decent amount of games in my opinion. Next up, we got Bryan Mbeumo, and I low-key got to put him in wide, because if you look at United, you see who their best players are. Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo. In terms of going forward, those are your 2 best players, and you go and buy another right winger when you have so many other problems to fix in the squad, which they can probably still do, because it looks like they have a budget to maybe make a bid for Baleba, which would be an insane 10 out of 10 signing. But to prioritize this, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's Bruno's best position as well, and that's your best player in your team. Just to play in one of those cam roles that you already bought Cunha for on the left side, and you ended up getting Bryan Mbeumo for the right side. But where is Bruno going to play in this team? I have no idea, to be honest. Maybe Amorim slightly changes this formation for Bruno to drop in at that striker position, and then those 2 would be running in behind off of him. But then you ask, what was Sesko bought for? So, I mean, it's just confusing in terms of who's going to be playing when and where. So I'm just going to ask why for that, especially for the price tag. Matheus Cunha, I think it's a very solid signing. Played in the same system before, prime age right now. He's Prem proven, basically, high scoring Brazilian in Prem history alongside Firmino and Gabriel Martinelli. So I think it's a solid signing for Man United. Aaron Ramsdale, I'm also going to put in solid. It looks like there's a lot of people in this solid category, but I think a lot of Premier League clubs have done good business in general. And I'm hoping I don't look dumb by putting all these players in solid. But, yeah, like I said, Newcastle was going for Trafford in goal for almost the whole summer. And like they have been doing all summer, they've been getting rejected. And Trafford, it wasn't even a rejection. Man City just took that buyback clause and took him away from him. So they ended up getting their second option, Aaron Ramsdale, who I don't think is that bad. He's known as the relegator, but his time at Arsenal, he looked good. He won goalkeeper of the year. He was in the team of the season. So yeah, he has that good shot stopping ability. Yes, he has an error in him or two, but I think overall you're getting a guy who can play decently with his feet and a good shot stopper. So yeah. Anthony Elenga, I'm going to put in decent. I think there's reasons why I got to put him in decent. And the reasons is because maybe it makes Newcastle a little bit predictable and a little bit easier to defend against. I don't want to say that, but Elenga was thriving in that Nottingham Forest team because of the transitions, and you're able to hit people in transition with Elenga's pace and that ability to find the final ball to Chris Wood. At Newcastle, he's basically slotting into the exact same system. And I feel like sooner or later, people are going to figure out that, hey, Newcastle just wants to hit us on the break. And people will realize how dangerous that is. Maybe it'll get found out. Maybe it won't. But Elenga, 55 million. Maybe that's just the market for the wingers right now. But I think they could have got him for a bit cheaper. He does look like he's going to be solid just because he'll slot straight into the system. But like I said, I feel like Newcastle need more variety in that attack, in attacking areas. Like, they have no creative midfielders or anything. Elanga will obviously bring creativity because what he had some of the most assists in the Prem last season, but I still think it'll just become predictable at some point for Newcastle. Next up, we got Igor Jesus, and I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in solid. I think Nottingham Forest. You seeing what Chris Wood did last season, crazy, and I think Igor Jesus would be able to add more to that. Chris Wood's game is very limited, and I think Igor Jesus, while he can play kind of the same way as Chris Wood, he's also much younger. I think he has much more pace. He can kind of do different things for that Nottingham Forest team, but at the same time play in their system. They'll definitely drop off this year. They won't be as good, but especially with players like Elanga leaving. But I think Igor Jesus will offer lots to this team, so I'm gonna put it in solid. Next up, we got Simon Adingra, and I'm gonna put him in Y because Brighton have a lot of attackers, and usually they buy pretty well, and they're able to sell him pretty well. And the fact that they were so willing to send Adingra to kind of a bottom of the table team, like it makes me ask questions. Like, is he that guy to help Sunderland stay in the Prem? Maybe he's not the most effective winger. A lot of people say he's not effective enough, especially the Brighton fans. I guess we'll see how it turns out for him. Next up, we got Enzo Lefebvre. I'm gonna put in solid as well. I mean, he helped Sunderland get to the Premier League. He came in mid-season and really helped Sunderland get to that playoff final and got them over the line, and that's the reason why they made that loan permanent. So I think it's got to be solid for him. After that, we got Diarra, and I'm gonna put him in decent because, like I said earlier, I like that a lot of these Prem teams are scouting from outside of England, going to France especially. Diarra was the captain of Strasbourg, I believe, and the way he's able to carry the ball, I think it'll be really useful for the Sunderland, especially if they play using transitions. I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna play, but I think they'll do a pretty decent job just because of the type of players they've brought in. Very technical, very able to hold on to the ball, especially with this guy Siddiqui, who I'm gonna put as solid because he is a midfielder that I think is gonna be able to hold his own in the Prem. Maybe that's a little bit of a hot take, but from what I've seen, he came from the Belgian league. He looks like he's able to retain the ball a good amount. Maybe not the most physical, but he looks like he'll chase you down enough to get the ball back. So, yeah, I think Siddiqui is going to be good in that midfield. And then we got Talby for Sunderland, who I think is going to be a game changer for them. Spoiler alert for my Premier League predictions. I actually think Sunderland is going to stay up. I think a lot of people have been saying that because of their recruitment. It's a very different strategy from what we usually see from promoted teams. And I really like the signing of Talby. Very technical player. Looks like he can change a game just from one pass like that. He has that final ball ability. Good, like I said, good on the dribble. So, yeah, I think, and he's Champions League proven. He's played in the Champions League. He'll bring that experience to the team, even though he's very young. So yeah, I'll definitely enjoy watching a little bit of that at Sunderland. Next up, we got Granit Xhaka, who's got to be in solid as well. Just like, I don't know how they pulled this off. Went from Leverkusen, a team challenging for Bundesliga titles, to Sunderland, a newly promoted team. It's insane that they pulled this off, and it's like a permanent. It's not just a loan or anything. For such a good price, is like 25 million. So it's got me wanting to put in game changer. But again, I don't know if Sunderland's gonna be playing this possession ball. I don't know if they'll be able to get away with it. So I'm just gonna put it in solid for now. Granit Xhaka, prem proven, like I said, especially those last few years at Arsenal, he looks so good. Gonna be a good amount of experience to bring to the team because they have been buying very young recently. And they finally signed someone not African because for AFCON, this Sunderland team, come on. Next up, we got Mohamed Kudus. I'm not going to put in game changer, but I think it's a very, very good signing. Tottenham, it felt like their wingers and forward options besides strikers, like you would leave games wanting a little bit more from them, especially in terms of like creating or making chances for themselves, being a maverick. And I think Kudus is that type of player that can just take games by the scruff of the neck and change them. Maybe he didn't show it at West Ham too much, especially last season. It wasn't his best season, but I do think Kudus has that capabilities. He does have those capabilities, and it's scary the fact that he's coming into this team. Going to be seeing him linking up with Kulusevski, players like, I mean, Madison just got injured, which is unfortunate. Maybe he can unlock Solanke even more with goals. Solanke had a decent season, but maybe he can get even more goals this season through Mohamed Kudus. So, yeah, this guy, he's a game changer. Well, he's not a game changer on my list, but I think he'll change games for Tottenham. So maybe I should put him there, but whatever. You know what? I'll put him in game changer. There's not too many game changers right now. So Reynaldo, I'm just gonna put in decent. Champions League proven as well. I don't know much about him, to be honest. He played for Atletico Madrid. But yeah, it's gonna be good experience to bring at left back for Sunderland. Someone solid defensively. I'm assuming he played for Atletico, so he's got to be solid defensively. So yeah, I'm just gonna put in decent. Next up, we got Matheus Tel. I think this is a very solid pickup. Like, what, 30, 40 mil? And this guy was one of the hottest talents coming out of Bayern. I think he's still like 19, 20 years old. Shows, like, he seems like he's a really good character. You saw what he was doing when Ange was getting a lot of stick. He stuck up for him. So, yeah, I think Matheus Tel is going to be a good signing. He can play multiple positions as well. Can basically be a understudy for Dominic Solanke as well. So yeah, Matheus Tel, I think he deserves to be in solid. Kevin Danso, I'm gonna put him in decent. Not gonna come in as a starter. Maybe if Tottenham play a back three, I doubt it, but I'm just gonna put him in decent. He's gonna be a good little rotation center back. He did good in their Europa League run when he was needed. So yeah, Kevin Danso is going in decent. Next up, we got Joao Palhinha. I'm gonna put him in decent. Tottenham need a ball winner in that midfield, to be honest. And I think Palhinha was one of the best when he was last in the Premier League at Fulham. So, I mean, what more could you ask for from your DM? Maybe you could ask him to progress the ball better, like dribble it out from the back, but that's what you have Bergvall for. So I'm just going to put in decent for now because of his stint at Bayern. He didn't get a lot of minutes there. Maybe he didn't get the most amount of opportunities. I don't know if he was injured or anything, but yeah, I'm just going to put in decent now because maybe he's not the same player. So now we got Callum Wilson, who I am going to put just in decent. Like, he has not been given a lot of minutes, to be honest, since Alexander Isak has just become the player he has become. And that's no stick on Callum Wilson, but it's also because he's been very injury prone as well. So it's a gamble with West Ham. Like, they always end up, they always go for strikers and end up playing Mikel Antonio for most of the season. So I don't think West Ham fans should be expecting much from Callum Wilson, but at his best, he is good. So, yeah, and I think he came in on a free. So, yeah, why not? Next up, we got Diouf. I think his name is El Hadji Diouf for West Ham. And I'm going to put him in solid because I watched a little bit of that England versus Senegal game. Senegal were great in that game, and he was really good offensively. And he looks like a physical specimen, ready for the Prem. Like I've said, for a lot of these players. Yeah, I think he will suit West Ham, in my opinion, especially if they play that five at the back. He can go up and down the pitch, great defensively. So, yeah, I think this is a very solid pickup for West Ham. Still 20 years old as well. This guy is so young. I think he'll be good. Kyle Walker-Peters is up next, and I'm just going to throw him in Y. I get it. West Ham needs some depth for their fullbacks. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diouf, you probably don't want them playing every single game. But it's just, this guy, I feel like he's championship level at best. At best, getting relegated from the Prem is what he does. That's what he did with Southampton. But I don't think he's outstanding going forward, which it looks like West Ham is using their fullbacks for. We've seen the way Wan-Bissaka was playing last season. We've seen the way Juve was playing against England. So yeah, I feel like Kyle Walker Peters won't help in that area of the pitch. So yeah. Next up, we got Fer Lopez, and I'm gonna just throw him in. I'm gonna throw him in decent, just because I don't know much about him or how he plays. I've seen like clips of him. He looks like he has a decent shot on him. Gets in the right areas. Gets in similar areas to Mateus Cunha, to be honest. So in terms of looking for like players for Cunha, it looks decent. They've bought from Celta Vigo before. That's where they got Strand Larson from. So in terms of the way it looks on paper, it looks like it'll be a decent signing. So, but again, he didn't have much output in La Liga last season. I don't know on how many minutes, but he just didn't have much output. So I don't know how much you want to trust that. Next up, we got John Arias. I think this is a great signing. I'm gonna put it in solid. Did really well at the Club World Cup. He was carrying Fluminense at some points. I feel like he'd be perfect for the Prem. Really technical, good on the ball, can drift in wide areas, come collect the ball. A very different option to Strand Larson. And he could probably play in multiple positions as well. I haven't watched much of him, but I think he'll be good for Wolves. And last but not least, we got Armando Broja, and I'm gonna throw him in Y just because injury issues. He's had many loans at this point, and they've just never worked really. So I feel like why would Burnley be different, especially buying him for the fee? I think he's a decent player. He can definitely make it work at Burnley, but it's more of a gamble in my opinion. Players like this, maybe he can have a better time at Burnley, but again, I don't know. But yes, guys, this is my complete list of the Premier League transfers that have happened before. Let me know what you guys think of it. Maybe not that many game changers, not as many as I would have expected. A lot of solid players that I've seen signed, just because some have come from outside the league, and I like that Premier teams are going for that. Yeah, only one bro really. Aston Villa need to do more in the market, but they really can't because of it's not FFP. What is it? PSR issues. Again, let me know what you guys think of that list. Let me know where I messed up, because I know some of y'all are raging. Maybe that Brian Mbuemo placement or that Tijani Reinders, but let me know where you guys would have put him. I'll be back on this channel with more videos. Like and subscribe again, like I said, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.